Welcome back everyone, I'm Ballistic Games, this is EVE Online and welcome to another ship fitting video. And today we're going to be doing the Caldari Caracal. This is what it looks like, pretty cool. And here are its bonuses. Per skill level of Caldari Cruiser, you will receive 5% bonus to Rapid Light Missile, Heavy Missile and Heavy Assault Missile Launcher rate of fire, so that's damage, and a 10% bonus to Heavy Missile and Heavy Assault Missile maximum velocity. That's range, so it's range and damage, which is very nice. Fitting wise, it has 5 high power slots and 5 missile slots, so you can imagine what we're going to be putting in the high power slots. 5 medium power slots and 4 low power slots, the usual 3 rigs, and only a 10 cubic meter drone bay, which is only enough for 2 light drones. 3 years ago we made a video about the Caracal and we made it into a active tanking heavy assault missile short range brawler. So today we're going to do something different because that's the whole point of remaking these videos. So let's go to simulate ship and see what we can make this thing into. Now we already discussed the high slots. There's 5 high slots and 5 missile launcher slots. So we're going to put 5 missile launchers in the high slots. Last time out we did heavy assault launchers, so this time we're going to do heavy launchers. This is going to be long range, so we'll do Arbalest Heavy Missile Launcher 1. Here we go, it's used up about half our power grid and a third of our CPU, that's fine. Go to charges, we'll put some Scourge heavy missiles because that's kinetic, so that's fine. Only 148 DPS, not great. Let's see what we can do to boost that. If we go to turrets and launchers, and weapon upgrades, ballistic control systems, we'll put 3 compact ballistic controls on. That bumps up to 240. No, that's 4, that's too many. I said 4 is too many because of the warning triangle here, which is telling us we're getting diminishing returns. That's a stacking penalty. First module you put on gets 100% of its listed bonus, which is 9.5 rate of fire, 8% missile damage bonus, so that's nice. Second one gets 87% of that, third one gets 57, fourth one I get something like 22, so 3 is fine, 4 pushing it a little bit. So that's that taken care of. Tank wise, as we know, we've just filled 3 of the 4 low slots with damage boosters, so we're definitely going to do a shield tank on this. Last time out we did an active tank, so this time we're going to do a passive tank. And the way that passive tanks work is that as you increase your shield hit points, you also increase your shield regeneration rate. If we change the tanking mode to passive shield recharge, at the minute we're only recharging 5 hit points a second. We have 2125 shield hit points and they go from 0 to 2125 in 937 seconds, and that equates to 5 hit points a second. Now if we increase the raw number of hit points, that does not increase the shield recharge time. So if we get something like a large shield extender, and we'll go for a restrained, now let's go for a compact, you'll see we have now gone up to 4,875 hit points, but it still regenerates from 0 to maximum in 937 seconds, so the hit points a second has gone up from 5 to 13, which is rather nice. So we'll do 2 of these, which then puts us up to 20, but it also gives us a lot of buffer, so there's 7,625 shield hit points for the enemy to chew on before we get into trouble. And these are regenerating at 20 hit points a second, which is nice. So we can reduce the incoming fire by increasing our resistances, because our shield resistances at the moment to EM is 0. Only 20 for thermal, 40 for kinetic, and 50 to explosive. And the way we're going to do that are shield hardeners. We'll do multi-spectrum shield hardeners. We'll do 2 endurings. Just like that. Lovely, lovely. So now we have 43, 55, 66 and 72. Still not great, but acceptable. What is the range of the missiles? When we mouse over the missile launcher, we see our maximum flight range is 94 kilometers. Okay, that's fine. So we do not need to move very fast, but I would like to move at least at a respectable speed. So we're going to do propulsion, and we're going to do a 10 meganewton afterburner. We'll do an enduring, why not? So our speed is now 686, and moving fast not only means that we can dictate the range to and from our missiles, it means we'll actually be taking less damage. So that also boosts our tank. Now 20 hit points a second is not great. Something like a medium shield booster will, well, we can check how much that'll do. We'll just go to shield booster and medium. If you were to use a medium shield booster, that will shield boost us 26 hit points a second without anything else. Just as one thing on its own will give us 26. So at the moment, we are regenerating passively less than a medium shield booster. I'd like to at least be as good as that, if not better. So what can we do to remedy that? We do have this one empty low slot, so we can do something with that. We go back to shield, and we've got quite a few choices here. We can use a shield power relay. What these do, these will improve the recharge rate of the shields by 20%. So the time will go down from 937 to 20% less than that, but they also reduce the capacitor recharge rate of the ship by 30%. But that's okay, because the only things we're using capacitor energy to use is the afterburner and these two shield hardeners, so we've got lots of capacitor. We don't care about that. So we'll do something like compact, why not? So now the time has gone from 937 seconds down to 731, and that's put the hit points a second from 20 to 26, which is still pretty good, but we can do better than that. Now the issue we're running into at the moment is that we've done everything is all damage and shield and movement. We've got nothing for damage application. We don't need any more range because our missiles already fly much further than we can target, and we can target to 72 kilometers. So if we have a look in rigs, because rigs are the only things we haven't done yet, missile launcher rigs, I would quite like to get at least something to help us apply damage to small targets a little bit better. The raw DPS is still only 228, so I'd quite like something for that as well. The Warhead Califaction would be the thing I would do for damage, but it's only putting us from 228 to 238. Is it worth that, using a rig slot for just 10 DPS? Perhaps not. So maybe we'll do a rigger catalyst. You'll notice none of the stats changed. What this does, this actually improves the damage application of your missiles. This reduces the size of the explosions of our missiles by 15%, and that is important because missile damage looks at the relationship between the explosion velocity and the target's speed, and the explosion radius versus the target's radius. So we're going to be shooting at lots of small, fast targets in level 2 missions like frigates, so I'd quite like to get smaller explosions. So we'll do that. We've still got 2 rig slots to fill. I'd quite like to get the shields up a little bit more, so we can go to shield rigs. We can do an extender, which will give us even more hit points, or a purger, which drastically reduces the shield recharge time. We'll just mouse over them, see the difference to make. If we put the extender on, we'd go up to 8,768 hit points, and that would put us up to 29 hit points a second regeneration. But if we did a purger, we'd still only be on, well, only on 7,500 shield, but it would go up to 32 hit points. We could just do one of each. It's maybe not a bad idea. Now the problem with passive shields, like what we are doing, is that when you put a shield extender on, it makes your signature radius larger. That is this statistic here. So if we just turn these off for a moment, we'll see naturally the ship is 125 meters long. This is how large it appears in enemy scope. And when we put one of these shield extenders on, it goes up to 150, and then again up to 175. It's not drastic, but it can make a difference. The larger you appear to be, the more damage you take, but it's not a huge issue. And we could put an EM shield reinforcer just to bump up the EM shield a little bit more, but I'd rather go for the regen ones. So we'll do one extender, one purger. So we're now repairing 37 hit points a second, which is better than a medium shield booster. We're basically not using any capacitor. There is no capacitor modules on this ship whatsoever. The only things on the entire fit which are using capacitor is this enduring afterburner and these 2 enduring shield hardeners. So absolutely no problem with cap. We've got lots of power grid and CPU left over because we've done everything compact. Drones. We'll put 2 drones on. Why not? So we'll go to drones, combat drones, light scout drones, and we'll just put in 2 Hornets, 2 little kinetic drones, who will add a grand total of 28.1 DPS to the fit. But we had the capacity, they only cost a couple of thousand ISK each, so why not? Right, so that's going to be the fit we're going to go for. It's most definitely a long range sniper. So not anything too brain taxing. I mean, we could of course have changed one of the rigs out for a targeting range rig, which I believe is the ionic field projector. So if we took off the extender rig and put an ionic field projector on, the targeting range goes out to 90, which is closer to the missiles, but still not close enough, so we're not going to do that. Because you know what, 72 kilometer targeting range is more than fine. So put the extender back on, there we are. Right, we've got lots of hit points enemies to chew on, decent resist. Damage is not great, but at least we can hit things from a million miles away. So I'm going to go and buy this ship, and I'll meet you at a level 2 agent, and we're going to run some missions. There we are, one newly built Caracal. Looks pretty cool. So let's go and get some level 2 missions in this thing, shall we? On the way to the agent, I've taken the liberty of rearranging all the modules and putting the drones in a group. And let's have a look at the skins we have for this ship, shall we? Okay, we have this camouflage looking one. This, don't know what that's supposed to be. Biosecurity responders, which you get for doing project discovery. This again looks like a toy car from the 1980s. And the aspirant enforcer, you get this from the air career program. Let's use this one. And that's what it looks like. Very nice.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I myself, of course, have no implants fitted. This is a blank clone, so everything you see is purely skills based. So if you have the same skills as me, you will get the same performance as me. Let's see how we perform in the blockade. Okay, this is one of the more difficult level 2 missions. That's fine. So in this system we're getting paid 383,000 ISK and 702 loyalty points, with another 270,000 ISK if we do it within 5 hours 36. Now we know from experience that the maximum time bonus you get is 6 hours for the very hardest mission, so this is right up there. 5 hours and 36 minutes. Let's accept and kill some bad guys. Now this doesn't actually tell us who the enemies are. There is no badge, which is a bit weird, but there is. If you start the conversation, then the badge appears. This is against Serpentis, and they are weakest to kinetic, and that's fine because I got kinetic ammunition and 2 little baby kinetic drones, so that's perfect. Turn on the shield hardeners. Here we are in the mission pocket. No gate, you just warp here. First thing that has to die, Starbase Stasis Tower. That thing will hold us in place, and then we'll take huge amounts of damage from everything, and I don't want that, so let's just kill it with our missiles. Shouldn't take too long. There we go, dead. Looks like there's 5 destroyers. We'll put 1 missile launcher in each of these, just to see how they do application wise. Have a look at the numbers. Not great. Notice that all the numbers are like different, which means we're not applying all that well. It's good when all the numbers are the same. That was not the case for us. The way this mission works is that there are multiple waves of bad guys, and the trigger to spawn the next wave is usually the ship with the highest bounty in the previous wave. But I don't think we need to worry about that. These guys are close enough to be target locked, and these guys are close enough to be target locked. Okay, we're getting sensor damp now, which is cutting down our targeting range, but that's not a huge issue. Shields, fine. Capacitor, more than fine. We knew it would be. We'll just pick everything off because we are very long range. There we are. Everything's kind of approaching us because they've all aggressed us. They're all approaching us directly. Right, how many volleys do we think? Let's just fire 5 missiles and then turn them off at this guy. When they reach, boom, dead. Okay. So we know we only need to fire 1 volley at each of these destroyers. So we'll do the same for that one, and then that one. There's another few destroyers there. This is something you need to learn with missiles, because your missiles do actually have a flight time. They're not like turrets that hit automatically. So we'll just fire missiles at him. Because the missiles are flying 57 kilometers, I'd rather not have more than 1 flight of them in the air at any one time. Ah, damn, we didn't kill that guy with a single volley. That's annoying. Did I maybe forget to fire 1 missile launcher at him? Unsure. Yeah, looks like we did, because this one's saying 17. That was my fault. I misclicked. But so far, the sniper is working fine. That is working absolutely fine. We haven't even moved, to be honest, because we're not taking any shield damage. Why move when you don't need to? Right, let's have a crack at the frigates, because they're not going to call in the next reinforcement wave. It will be the cruisers that do that. Again, we're going to do 1 volley of 5 missiles and then turn them off. Boom, dead. Nice. And I think we only needed 4 missiles to kill that frigate. Ah, that guy didn't die. Probably because he's got better resistances, or he was moving fast enough. He's dead now. Right, that guy took 2 volleys. This is all about preservation of ammo and time. Right, that guy died. Right, who's got the highest bounty? Well, there's a frigate, so let's get rid of that. I didn't even spot him there. 37, 43. Okay, there's 2 of them that got 43. Again, the frigate didn't die in 1 volley because it's a smaller, faster target. So the missiles do less damage to it, as we see. 62 and 94. And when we shoot at this guy, who is a big, slow target, we will see our missiles do significantly more damage. There we go, 198. And you will notice that all 5 of the missiles did 198, and then they all did much more. Okay, and that guy spawned the next wave, even though he wasn't the highest bounty. As I said, it's only usually the thing with the highest bounty. It isn't always. Okay, so 195 on each of the missiles that time. And so, because they're applying so much better, because it's a larger target, that's why all the numbers are very similar. There we go. We're getting sensor damp, which is reducing our maximum target range, but we're going to be fine. Will this guy die before we run out of missiles? Not quite. Oh,
a module has run out of charges.
Right, we'll get our little drones to go and finish that guy off. We should start moving. Turn the afterburner on. I'm going to approach these guys down here. Flip 1 volley at each of them. Okay, 1 volley was not enough to kill this guy. He must have been moving slightly faster. Now, one concern are these Caracal Guardian patrollers, because Guardians are elite. These are the ones that are doing all this E-war on us, and these things will annihilate our drones if we put our drones out. So we're going to have to just try and get rid of these things, because these are the ones doing the sensor dampening, which is reducing our maximum lock range like that, as we see. Right, let's just approach him. So these guys kind of force you to come in close. There's 4 of them. 4 Guardian frigates. They're going to take a while to kill, which is quite annoying. Maybe we'll kill 1 frigate and then wipe out the destroyers. That's probably a good idea. Just to remove some damage from the field. Hopefully 1 volley will be enough. Yes, it was. And that was good enough as well. Learning how many volleys things take to kill means you can switch targets a lot sooner, and you're not wasting missiles. It is a little bit min-max and a little bit micromanaging, but sometimes it's what you gotta do. Heavy missiles are applying not terrible to these guys. That's fine. Again, because we're a missile ship, we don't have to worry about a relationship to where the enemy is. As long as they're in range, they'll be hit. Angular velocity and transversal velocity and tracking speed, none of that matters with missiles. You can be really blasé like we're being. Just fly around however you want. And they're all firing turrets at me, so they are the ones that are missing me. As you'll see, they're just missing because I'm moving nice and fast and up close. But my missiles will hit if they're in range. And then it's all down to how small and fast is the target versus how small and fast are my missile explosions. Boom! Another one gone. Right, let's just approach these guys because they're the closest ones. And there's more of these evil elite frigates. Now, these elite frigates can warp jam you as well, so watch out for that. I'm not sure if these ones will because it's only a level 2 mission, but at level 3 and 4 they certainly do. These guys just annoy because they've got huge resistances and E-war you. There's nothing else too threatening in this little group. It's all frigates. It's like one cruiser at the back. I'm not going to put out my 2 little drones. A, because they're not really contributing anything in the way of DPS, and B, because these Guardians will massacre them almost immediately. This is not a drone bonus chip. Our drones have no bonuses. They're just 2 little tiny drones with no bonuses. A token gesture. And these Guardians are so annoying to kill. We're going to have to reload our weapons now.
Our module has run out of charges.
We should probably move, so I'm just going to orbit this guy. It's 10 kilometers, just so we're moving, just to reduce the amount of damage we're taking. The way that passive shield tanking works is that even though our shield is telling us it regenerates at 37 hit points a second, that does not mean that it's doing that right now. Shields regenerate on a bell curve, so usually about 35% shields is when they're regenerating at their fastest. And then it falls off to either side, so because we're still at, 85%, we're only regenerating a very small amount of shields per second. The lower it goes, the better it gets. But if it goes below 35, then you're in trouble, because then it starts to fall off again. And that is something we do not want. So if we hear the low shield warning at 50%, we need to start actually paying attention. But I don't think we're going to get anywhere close to that. Let's spit out our little drones. They can help us on this final frigate. Off they go. Go on, boys, add your 30-something DPS. Win the day for us. And immediately the frigate has gone yellow box, which means he's no longer shooting at us. He's obviously trying to shoot the drones. Probably missing because they're very small and very fast. There we go. He's dead. Let's wipe out all these destroyers. Bring the drones back home. 1 volley was enough for him. 1 volley was enough for him. Now, we've kind of lucked out with this mission because it was one of the best sniper missions for level 2. So, you know, we've got a very long range ship and everything spawned a million miles away. Alright, 1 more ship. I'm not sure if this is the final ship in the mission or whether it's just the final ship of this wave, but as you see, lots of wrecks, lots of targets in this mission. Aha, more targets. So we're just going to come to a halt. I don't need to move. We're very long range. I'm not seeing any elites, so we're not going to get our targeting range reduced by sensor damps. Whoops. Almost forgot to stop shooting at that guy just then. 1 volley on him. Just about enough. Yeah, long range is lovely for missions, because most of the enemies are short range. See, all these things are yellow box, means they have us target locked, but they're not shooting, and they're not shooting because they're not in range. They're going to have to fly towards us to get into range. By the time they've done that, I will have killed them with my missiles. That's why we like long range for missions. So destroyers usually die in like one volley. They're in range now. The frigates take between 1 and 2 volleys because they're smaller and faster. Cruisers take 3 or 4 volleys, even though they take more damage per missile because they're slower and larger targets. They of course have more hit points. He's not going to die before we reload, is he? No.
A module has run out of charges.
No, not quite. Damn, that's annoying.
A module has run out of charges.
Well, at least they're normal missile launchers and they reload in 10 seconds. Unlike rapid lights, which require 35 seconds. I think one more volley will finish this guy off. Let's see. Oh, come on, really? Fine, have another volley. There we go, that's the mission complete.
Warp drive active.
So far so good for the sniper passive tanked Caracal. Excellent. Right, let's complete that mission. Get another one. Avenge a fallen comrade. Again, it's against Serpentis, which is great. Kinetic damage. It's one jump away. We're getting paid 125,000 ISK and 242 loyalty points with another 117,000 if we do it within 1 hour and 56 minutes. That's going to be an easy mission. This is going to be pretty quick. Again, because we've got all the capacitor in the world, I'm just going to turn on the shield hardeners now because why not? We'll see if anything poses a threat to this magnificent ship in this little mission. I doubt it. This ship being quite so long range could probably handle most level 3 missions, to be honest. Okay, acceleration gate. That means we're being dropped off at a specific point in space.
Warp drive active.
Alright, there's a habitat here, and that is what we need to destroy. And again, luckily, it is marked as an overseer structure, which I approve of. This is how all missions should be. I'm not going to shoot at these two guys that are right up in my face. They'll aggress on their own. I'm just going to shoot these guys at the back. Again, one volley in the destroyer. Because these guys are initiates, they're going to get 1 missile each. Literally 1 missile each. These guys have aggressed on their own, that's fine. We'll put the drones out. Initiates are very, very weak, as we see. They're dead. Do these, and then I'll just target lock this group over here. There we go. Because I'm never sure how many volleys it takes to kill frigates, I'm just going to leave the missile launchers running until they're dead. That may mean we waste some missiles because one volley will be hitting the target at the same time as the next volley will be on its way to the target, so we might waste some missiles there. Okay, these guys have all got E-War, that's annoying. And that looks like our drones have spotted them, and they're on. Drones are on the case, that's fine. Again, we have not moved a single pixel from where we were when we landed, because we don't have to. We've got the targeting range to do all this stuff. Right, drones, come back. You're not actually doing anything. You're just wasting everyone's time. Thanks for trying, little guys. They did get rid of these 2 little frigates that were up in my business, so that's good. And if this was not marked as an overseer's thing, it would be a large collidable object. And as I said, if you have them turned on, your overview looks like an absolute mess, and you can never find the thing you're trying to find anyway, because it's hidden amongst the list of other things. So again, well done developers, you managed to do that correctly. We're going to have to approach the habitat. We'll just afterburn towards it a little bit. I'll just smash the cruiser with my big missiles. Okay, we're in range of the habitat. We'll just bring the ship to a halt. Target lock it. These guys haven't even woken up yet, even though I've almost killed the cruiser. The cruiser never even aggressed me. It didn't realise what was happening to it. And now it's dead. Range is just wonderful in missions. It keeps you so safe. You know what? I'll let the drones have a go at these frigates. Why not? whilst I destroy the habitat with my heavy missiles. I'm never quite sure how many hit points buildings and missions have. Some of them have got like 500,000 hit points for some odd reason, and some of them die as soon as you look at them. This one seems to be in the middle. It's taken a decent number of volleys, but not too many. Oh, that's going to be fine. There we go. The drones have killed everything. They can come back. The habitat's nearly dead. Looks like it's going to die this volley. Oh, no. Okay, next volley. Now it's going to blow up. There we go. Mission done. Happy days.
Warp drive active.
Right, let's complete that mission and complete this video. In the 2 missions we were handed, this thing worked amazingly well. Long range is absolutely amazing. It does only repair 37 hit points a second, but that's more than good enough for level 2 missions. At level 3 you might have to move to reduce the incoming damage and be a bit smarter about your target selection, but at level 2 this thing works like an absolute dream. So come back next time and see what ship we build in the next video. Until then, do look after yourself, and I'll speak to you again very soon.